Hello, everybody, and welcome to DUUUVAL Thursdays number 7 here on Curtis's Podcast Network. I, of course, am Curtis, the host of the channel. I am a Texans fan, but for this podcast, I will be unbiased, and you'll only hear me reference the Texans when it has nothing to do with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But Isaiah Michelli is our resident Jaguars fan. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you all for joining us today and watching. We have a 10 like goal on this episode, so let's go ahead and hit that. The Jaguars podcast is the only one who's been able to acquire that or achieve that that goal on 2 out of the 3 podcasts, the last 2 out of 3. So let's keep that momentum going. And yeah, we also would like you to subscribe if you're new here. So, you making your wrist real quick?
The thumbs, yeah.
We're at 331 at the time of this recording, and we would like to get to 1,000. So if you could be a part of that with us, that'd be great. We'd love to grow, and we'd like to meet and talk to and be in front of more and more Jaguars fans.
Because we watch the most. Go Jags.
Anyway,
this Jaguars show.
DUUUVAL Thursday. Anyway, so let's get into it. A lot of players are being mocked to a bunch of different teams throughout a bunch of different mocks coming out from a bunch of different people. However, there's almost, and I say almost because I've seen some other names attached to the Jaguars at 24, but for the most part, it's been B squared from Alabama. Brian Branch, Mr. Almost ran a 4.6 himself. And I know that you have some reservations about that, so why don't you hit me with why you don't want Brian Branch at 24?
He's slow.
So
he doesn't have a specific position. He can play all the positions. Like, I don't want someone who can play all the positions. I want someone who can play slot corner and outside corner. Or someone who can play safety. I don't want someone who's running the 4.58 to be drafted and be our slot corner. I don't know how much clearer I can be about that. He's just slow. I don't know why all the national media is like, oh yeah, they're getting Brian Branch. Like they're in cahoots about it. Like, just shut the fuck up. We don't want him. Like, it'd be cool if we had him. Sure, I guess. Like, we got him like 56. I know he's not going to be there, but that'd be pretty cool. People are like, oh, trust the tape. It's like, yeah, I trust the tape if we were drafting him to play strong safety, but we're drafting him to play freaking slot corner. There's going to be a lot of people available there. Dalton Kincaid's probably going to be there. Yeah, the Utah, he's a pretty dang good player.
Yeah.
Kalijah Kancey probably won't, but might be there.
Was it Mazzie Smith, the defensive tackle out of Michigan?
I wouldn't take him in the first round. I would say outside of like Jalen Carter, I don't know that there's I guess Kalijah Kancey's more of an interior D lineman. He can really do it all. But like outside of those two, I wouldn't take any interior D lineman in the first round personally.
Really, not even Brees?
I wouldn't take Brees. No.
Ika
Brees is
Baylor?
Huh?
What about is it Samu Ika? He's from, I think he went to school at Baylor.
Doesn't really jump off the page to me. I think you're kind of wasting a draft pick at 24 on an interior D lineman unless a guy like Clancy or somebody falls that can do a little bit more on the D line. It's okay to like play multiple positions on the D line, but like if you're trying to play a bunch of different secondary positions and you're slow, no, I'm good. There's what's up?
I was gonna say you gotta have speed.
No, for sure. I mean, it's the NFL. There's a couple of slow safeties that get away with it. No slow corners get away with it. Unless you're just amazing in press coverage. But I mean, he's a press flat corner. He's not going any deeper than the flat, maybe the curl. Hook if he's lucky. He's not running the vertical down the field with any slot corner or a slot receiver in the league. He's going to get left on any sort of crossing routes, slants, in route, post route. He's just getting left on all that kind of stuff, He's got good ball skills, but I would much rather see him have good ball skills from a safety spot than where we're going to try to play him being the slot cornerback position. Um, there's just a lot of other ways we can go with that pick, and I think that that's not really going to be a great value pick. Um,
Okay. So if not Brian Branch, then who?
like I mentioned, like Kalijah Cansey, potentially if he's there, trading up, I would say for like a Deontay Banks. If we're stuck at 24, Cyrus Torrance, if he's there, he's been falling a little bit in the mock drafts. Um, the freaking what's the tackle out of Tennessee's name? Darnell
Darnell
Wright.
Wright. Yeah.
Yeah, if he's there, I don't think he'll be there, but he's been a name that some people have talked about. I think he's one of the better tackles in the draft. Um, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. There's a couple guys I could see going there. Um, I just wouldn't go Branch personally, but again, this is why I don't get paid millions of dollars to pick players.
So obviously, if the Jags are interested in trying to find a slot corner slash safety who they can develop behind Jenkins in his final, couple years of his deal or whatever. If not Brian Branch, then maybe who else at that position or at corner would you rather take? Assuming that Washington and or no, Witherspoon. I'm sorry. Assuming that Witherspoon and Gonzalez are definitely gone by that
Deontay
point.
Banks.
Yeah.
If we could potentially get him there or trade up and grab him,
Is he out of South Carolina?
Maryland.
Maryland.
Emmanuel Forbes, I think. No.
That's Mississippi State,
What's
right?
another guy out of South Carolina? Cam Smith, I think, is one of South Carolina. They've talked about him too, potentially in the second round. Yeah, I mean, if I could pick out of the corners, of course, everybody's going Witherspoon. But for guys who could realistically be in there at 24, 20, somewhere in that range where we can potentially trade up or somewhere, I'd go Deontay Banks. I think he's one of the more physical corners in the class. He runs a 4.35. He's 6 foot. I mean, the whole entire point of this is to get a guy who can start in the corner or slot corner and then move to outside when we get rid of Darius Williams after next season. This coming season, I should say. We don't need to get a guy to put him in the slot and then move him to safety and then try and replace him with the slot with another guy and not fix the hole that we have, which is outside corner. Once Darius Williams leaves, and Brian Branch isn't that guy. We're not moving Brian Branch to freaking outside corner. This is not happening. So I would say Deontay Banks. I like him a lot. He's very physical. He's a very fast runner. And honestly, if we say, the kid that we got last year, Monteric Brown, Buster Brown, out of oh good lord, Ole Miss, I believe. Yes. Anyways, not the point. He actually played pretty decent when he was on the field last year, and he was an all SEC player that before he got drafted. If he comes out and is just freaking amazing, then I mean, maybe we move Banks to safety. Having a 4.35 safety next to Andre Cisco and letting Jenkins go. I mean, that's not a bad thing. Or even having Banks play that rolling safety, play in that nickel position and everything, and then rolling back to safety and doing all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's just one of those things, you never really know. But I would say Banks is honestly one of my favorite players in the draft that we could realistically see at 24. I guess kind of a long-winded way to say that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just say that the Jags don't go secondary. You're pretty firm on the defensive line being the next target? Or would you prefer offensive line? Like, if there's a hierarchy in your mind of what the top needs are for the Jaguars, it sounds like it would be some sort of secondary position. Presumably slot corner in your mind, and then D line, offensive line. No, offensive line, tight end. Okay,
because I don't want to keep on giving
Evan Ingram
franchise tags. If we in the end, so, he's been quoted talking about how it's crazy that slot corner or slot receivers are making this much money when he's only making this much as a tight end. It's like, okay, but we
They
use
played.
you like a wide receiver and a tight end, like you're making as much, if not more, than Kelsey now at 11 million for the year. Like
Yeah.
Kelsey's the best receiver tight end fucking in the league right now. Um, I just don't want to fight with Evan Ingram for a long-term deal. Because that's probably what they're hung up on right now. We're trying to offer him like 10 a season, or like maybe like 35 mil over 3 years or something with like 25 guaranteed is probably my guess. And he's like, no, I want like 4 or 5 years. And he's 30 years old this season.
Yeah.
Maybe even, I don't remember if he's turning 30 or 31, but it's like, if we can draft a guy like a Dalton Kincaid, maybe a Zach Kuntz in the 4th or 5th round, if he can turn out to be some sort of superstar. I mean, he tested off the charts, but he might just be a combine warrior, like a lot of guys seem to be. If we can
Anthony
get,
Richardson.
we'll see. If he goes to the right place, we'll see.
He'll be a backup his entire career
Until he starts, and then he'll be a starter. Look, if Lamar Jackson could start, Anthony Richardson can start.
Yeah, I hear you, but Anthony Richardson will not start.
He will by the end of his first season.
I don't think he'll even
On
be
the
taken
Texans.
in the first 2 rounds.
Anthony Richardson's going to be a top 10 pick.
Nah,
Yeah.
doubtful.
It's not smoke and mirrors. He's getting picked top 10.
Yeah, well, he'll be one of the biggest busts in first round history.
I mean, he can't really be at this point. Zach Wilson is just he's like top 10 of biggest busts in the
I mean, Ryan Leaf is like permanently there, but
yeah. But no, yeah, Anthony Richardson to be a top 10 pick. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But we're not picking him, so I don't want to give a shit. What happens, where he goes, how he does, don't care. But yeah, no, I mean, whatever. I think tight end's the best one for us. A lot of people are saying this is the strongest, if not one of the strongest tight end classes we've had in a long time.
yeah.
So we can get any of those big guys, Kincaid, Musgrave, Mayer, potentially. I think Mayer's going to be the best like inline blocking tight end, and he's not like an athletic freak, but he has really sure hands and he's quick enough that he can get open. He kind of reminds me of like a Gronk, or maybe more of like a Goddard, where like he's got that blocking ability and he's definitely a good inline blocker. No, Zach Ertz. That's what I'm thinking of. Zach Ertz. Yeah. He's a big dude. He's a true two-way tight end. He's not, just a blocker. He's not just a receiver. Musgrave and Kincaid are a little more athletic, but they can still put the hands on somebody. But we'll just have to see. Honestly, I want to find somebody long-term there and then stop fighting with Ingram over it. But
Yeah.
you never know.
Okay.
We should just draft 4 tight ends this draft.
One of you's got to work out.
Yeah, load up on them, and then whichever ones don't, we just ship them out. Like.
You know what I think would be interesting? What if the Jags draft like a tight end in the later rounds, and then next year draft Brock Bowers?
I'd be fine with that. I mean, the problem is I don't think we'll be picking high enough to draft Brock Bowers.
And that very well may be, but I think if the need is strong enough, Jacksonville will find a way.
Yeah, but my thing is like I don't see us trading up for a tight end unless there's like a couple of picks. Versus if we project and go where we want to project and go, we're probably going to be 25 or later next year, if not closer to 30. So it's going to be, it's going to be a lot to trade up for Brock Bowers. He's probably going to be a top 10 pick next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jags are making the AFC Championship this year.
That's what it sounded like.
I'm calling it. It's happening.
I'm calling it here before the draft.
I'm calling it's a lock. Fucking, it's happening.
I saw a mock draft today that had, it was C.J. Stroud. No, the Panthers took Bryce Young. Then the Texans took Tyree Wilson.
Why?
Because we also need edge rushers.
Yeah, but you need a quarterback.
Like plural.
More.
You forget the system.
I don't forget the system whatsoever.
Oh no, the system that San Francisco ran didn't require an elite quarterback to get them to the NFC Championship game. Did it or did it not?
Okay, but hold on a second.
Hold on,
Before
let
you
me
did
cook.
it or did no before you did it or did it not. Do you have 3 running backs that would start on any other roster in the league?
2.
2? Who?
Damian Pierce and Devin Singletary.
Devin Singletary's not a starter.
He was a starter for 4 years in Buffalo.
Where did Buffalo's running game rank every single one of those years?
Look, if you got Josh Allen,
bottom
you're going to
10th.
throw the ball. You're going to throw the ball if you got Josh Allen.
Bro,
Also,
Josh
their
Allen
offensive
ran for
line is
more
dog
yards than
water.
Austin Singletary. Singletary's
They're-
garbage. He's slow. He you literally were
Those
like,
Damian
we
Pierce.
need a change of pace back. That's my point. We need a change of pace back. Let's go get someone who's slower than Damian Pierce. Like, yeah, you're throwing a change up and then throwing a freaking slider curve. Like, it like, oh, here comes the splitter. Like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, like it's
Look,
Singletary's not good.
look, I'm not saying he's out here S tier, but I think that, Cordell Patterson's 31, 32, and they drafted Tyler Algier, but I don't know if
In
Algier.
the 6th round. Like,
I'm not saying they drafted him high. I'm just saying they've got 2 guys there who probably start on most other teams at that position. I mean, look, so Bobby Slowick was the passing game coordinator for San Francisco. He's now the OC. He's going to run the same system or a similar system to what San Francisco did since Kyle Shanahan's taken over. This is not the first time that the Shanahan system has been in Houston.
I'm just like, you guys don't have the offensive weapons to run that system yet.
I'm not disagreeing with you. But
y'all are gonna
regardless-
draft a big tight end in the 2nd round. I feel like if you're trying to run that system, if whoever of the big 3
We have
falls,
Dalton Schultz.
I don't mean a big blocking tight end. I mean someone who can go down the field, run around, catch a football, and run it for a touchdown.
I mean, yeah, we got Brevin Jordan.
Who? Mr. 100 yards himself, like Mr. 6 catches, like
Yeah.
Mr. 6'2", like y'all are. Like, if Musgrave falls to the 2nd round, or y'all are picking him at number 2 in the 2nd round. Like,
I would be surprised if they draft a tight end this year. Because I project Houston to be one of those teams in the top 10. Realistically, Brock Bowers, with whatever quarterback we end up taking or not taking. Anyway, the system.
when y'all are the number 1 pick next year, and you don't actually win against the Colts in the last game, you can pick Brock Bowers number 1.
Bro,
or trade back to number
we're beating
3.
all of the AFC South opponents at least once.
No, this year you're getting swept by
yes.
Jacksonville. You're getting swept by Jacksonville this year, 100%.
Nah.
If you guys don't draft if you guys don't draft like Stroud or at least a decent quarterback, you're getting swept easy.
No, I doubt.
100%.
I doubt. Yeah, hugely.
Jacksonville's sweeping everybody
immense
this
doubt.
year. Jacksonville's going 6-0 in the conference.
In the division.
In the conference.
They have more conference games than that.
It's fine.
At
I'm
some
standing
point,
by
they'll be
it.
6-0 in the conference.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean,
No.
that's
we're
a hot
going 6-0 in the division. Cold take.
I just don't see that in the stars.
There's no stars out underneath the roof, baby.
That's why I don't see it.
It's happening.
Anyway,
This
so
is gibberish at this point. Now we're
Yeah,
now this is the Texans draft show.
I mean,
Dun.
well, I was just gonna say, I was trying because you asked why they would draft Tyree Wilson. Name an edge rusher on the Texans right now.
Gary Hughes. Oh fuck, not Greenlaw. Good lord. Jonathan Grenard.
Is in a contract year and has been underwhelming.
Yep.
So he's gonna have
Still on
to
the
play
team.
huge. Still on the team. Still on the
Christian
team.
Harris.
But he's not an edge rusher.
Y'all run a 3-4, don't you?
No, 4-3.
Run a 4-3.
Yeah.
That's a mistake. You have a guy like Christian Harris.
Christian Harris did not play edge rusher.
Christian Harris was a 3-4 outside linebacker at Alabama.
Yeah, but he also played a lot of pass coverage downs.
Well, yeah, I mean, edge rushers in a 3-4 play a lot of pass coverage downs.
No, but playing pass coverage.
Yeah, so did Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen, and we run a 3-4.
Yeah. But he was predominantly pass coverage.
Nah, he rushed the passer too.
Look, he got a sack last year, but
Yeah, see, perfect. He's on his way.
yeah, no.
Send him more.
So, you have Grenard, who's been underwhelming, and Jerry Hughes. Anyway, so the mock draft I saw, Bryce Young first, Tyree Wilson at 2, and then the Titans trading up to draft
CJ
Stroud, the Colts drafting
Will Levis.
No, I saw the Texans draft Will Levis at 12.
Anthony Richardson.
No.
Will Anderson.
Yeah,
This the one? Did you send us something about this the other day in the group chat?
I don't think so. But it was Will Anderson, and then the Seahawks traded up to draft Richardson, and then like at 5, and then it was like a run on edge rushers till the Titans, who drafted Skoronski, and then Houston drafted Will Levis at 12. And anyway, but if the board breaks like that, that's going to push some of those players, in my opinion, that, maybe you guys are looking at, like a Gonzalez or a Witherspoon. And I think they might be within range of trade if that were to happen, because that pushes some bigger names down the board, which a lot of teams, I would imagine, would think are not available at their pick. So, and that will just continue.
I don't see it happening, but it could happen.
Well, look, all it really. Oh no, I was wrong. It was the Colts traded with the Ravens, and they ended up getting Lamar. Yeah, so the Ravens traded back and ended up getting Richardson at 4.
Yeah, I don't like this. That's like the, hey, I want attention. Look at my mock draft. Like,
this was, if I'm not mistaken, this was like ESPN's.
Yeah,
somebody from ESPN.
Yeah, it's, hey, we're not relevant right now. Like, look at us. We're making funny stuff happen in mock draft simulator. Like, yeah. They gotta make money somehow.
Yeah, they do. They gotta, I don't know, figure something out. But folks, I think we're at the end here, so go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. We're trying to hit 10 on this episode.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead and help us get to 1,000. We're at 331 at the time of this recording. Thank you all for watching. Isaiah, thank you for being here, and thank you for your DUUUVAL insight. DUUUVAL details?
Trademark. TM.
Bango. But with that being said, y'all be good people.